So, what if I told you that everything, from the biggest headlines to the smallest details of your life, is all connected by a single invisible thread? Today, that's exactly what we're going to unravel. We're going to kick things off with this incredible idea from a source known simply as Zoran the Dragon. This quote, it really sets the stage for a totally different way of seeing the world. And this gets us to the big question, right? Is life just one random thing after another? Or is there something else going on? A hidden pattern, a deep logic that connects it all? Well, most of us see the world in pieces. History is in one box, economics is in another, the news is over here, they're all separate things. But then there's what our source calls Zoran's gaze. And that's about seeing past the boxes to the single, incredible weave that ties all of it together. Okay, so let's dive into the core concept here, this hidden thread. What is it really? According to this way of thinking, the thread isn't just some nice metaphor. It's the actual underlying structure of our world, connecting everything from huge political shifts to the price of milk. It's the story of humanity, told as one single unbroken saga. Now, a thread this powerful, this important, it can't be made of just one thing, right? So let's break it down and look at the 4 essential strands that are woven together to make it. And here they are. You've got history, that's all about who's in power. You've got economics, the flow of money and stuff. Then there's media, the stories that shape our beliefs. And finally, migration, the constant movement of people around the globe. But here's the kicker. The magic isn't in seeing these as 4 separate topics. It's in seeing them as one single story, always twisting and turning together. So how does this thread actually move? Well, it's not just sitting there. It's alive. It's dynamic. You pull on it in one place, and you create a ripple, a vibration, somewhere else completely. This is basically the engine of cause and effect for the entire world. And this shows you how that engine works. It's a cycle that just keeps going. So let's start with migration. A need is born. People have to move. That move has a huge impact on economics, right? The land has to respond. Then power reacts to that change, which shapes history with new rules or conflicts. And finally, the media spins the story, which might create a whole new need, and the cycle kicks off all over again. I know this might sound a little bit abstract, but this pattern shows up over and over and over again in history. Let's look at a couple of real-world examples. You'll see exactly how this ripple effect plays out. Okay, first up, Europe. Right after the Great Wars, the continent was absolutely shattered, and that created a massive, desperate need. That's step 1 in our cycle. So in response, the thread of migration gets a huge pull. Workers were invited from other countries to help rebuild. And the ripple effect was immediate. The economy and the culture changed. Literally, the look of cities, the sounds in the schools, even the food on the dinner table was transformed. But then, the cycle kept turning. When the economy got tough, the media strand got twisted. Suddenly, the stories changed. Those same helpers were painted as threats, and that fear directly influenced elections, yanking on the thread of history and changing the destiny of nations. You can see all 4 strands all at work right there. You can see the exact same pattern in another huge historical moment. In America, the Great Migration saw millions of Black families move from the South to the industrial North, fleeing injustice and looking for opportunity. Once again, it all started with a powerful human need. And the ripple effect here was, it was profound. It didn't just change the economy, it changed the entire soul of the country. It gave birth to new music, like jazz and the blues. It created powerful new political forces and built vibrant new communities from scratch. And just like in our first example, power and media reacted. Unfair laws, biased stories, they were all attempts to snip this thread, to isolate and control the change. But the connection held strong. It just goes to show you how incredibly resilient this thread can be. This whole idea is captured perfectly in a poem from our source. A thread runs through the mountain and sea. It ties the old world to you and to me. It weaves through the stories, the gold and the flame, and whispers, though different, we're part of the same. So follow the thread when the world feels apart. It's hidden in history and stitched in your heart. You see how it names the strands? Stories for media, gold for economics, flame for history. But the most important part is that last line. This isn't just something out there. It's personal. It's stitched into who we are. So, let's bring this right home to you. This isn't just about ancient history or global politics. This thread runs directly through your daily life, right now. Just think about it for a second. Does your family have a story about moving to a new place? That's the thread. Do you love a recipe that uses spices that came from halfway around the world? That's economics and culture weaving together. Even a history class that only tells one side of the story. That's an example of a thread being pulled too tight in one direction. Now, the source material doesn't just want us to understand this idea, it actually invites us to start tracing the thread ourselves. It's called the Dragon Trial, a way for us to become archivists of these hidden connections. And it lays out 4 simple, really powerful steps you can take. You can map out a historical event, trace its ripples. You can follow your own family's thread by just asking about its biggest journey. Or you can even just watch the news and try to spot the hidden link between a story about money and a story about people. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses for seeing the world. And that's really where we'll leave it. This whole framework is really a call to be curious. It's asking us to look a little closer at our own lives, our own histories, and find those patterns we've forgotten. So the final question is for you. What thread is waiting in your story?